The New South Wales Local Government Aboriginal Network Conference is hosted by Shellharbour, Wollongong and Kiama councils.
Well, there's the things that are of immediate importance to the Aboriginal people, but I think it's also making sure with some of those longer term decisions that we're making that they're properly consulted at the outset and not as an afterthought towards the end, which can happen. For example, with Shell Cove, that's a project that's now well underway in terms of the construction of a new marina, boat harbour and surrounding residential area. But one of the things that we've promised there is an Aboriginal interpretive centre. So I think having an organisation or a committee like the Aboriginal Advisory Committee keeps us honest, keeps us focused, and remember this promise was made. And so the institutional arrangements are really good for backing up statements that have been made in good faith over a long period of time to make sure that they don't get left out. There has to be a lot of other things done as well. At some point you have to have a more sensible conversation about transfer of economic power and responsibility to Aboriginal people in their own rights. And I think it also goes in a whole lot of other areas of cultural and social life as well. I look at these things with great faith and confidence because in the moment you can't see it happening. But if you take a longer term perspective, for me anyway, I can see where this is going and it's all good. In European society, the fact that we've got all sorts of different denominations and religious beliefs, we don't expect all of them to be in one. But somehow or rather we have this view about Aboriginal and Indigenous communities. You should be speaking with one voice. Well, hang on a minute, we don't expect that of ourselves. Why we expect it of Aboriginal people?
2004. Dragon Boat Race, the Koori Youth Group and the Shellharbour Foreshore Reconciliation Walk gain momentum.
Back in 2004, I was at a men's health gathering in Newcastle. Myself and Uncle Cedric, two ladies from Shellharbour Council, knew that I was involved in the advisory committee and spoke to me after one of the meetings one day about a small place. Those two ladies were my mainstream ladies, Beth Moon and Tessa Parsons. We owe a hell of a lot to them, getting us over this way and working with us. And it's really, really important that we're getting our message out there, our cultural message out to mainstream Australia, which is been hidden away, and show the kids the way that we couldn't be shown, and trying to work with them on that basis. Yeah. A good story, we had a young guy come to men's group one Friday and he rode in on an old push bike and he said, I've seen this place on the net. He said, what is it? And I said, this is a Koori men's group, brother. What's the problem? And he goes, my marriage is going sour. I've got 4 kids and can't get employment and I need someone to come and sit down and talk. And I said, mate, you've come to the right place. So he came with us for about 3 or 4 weeks and we spoke to him about, and it's a really, really completely different setup to anything else because you don't get many men who can get into a group and discuss their private lives, what they go through at home and the stress and all the downsides of life. And then he come back and we got him some work with home and community care as a service worker, and then he got a job and he'd been there for about 4 years, and he's one of our real success stories. Come in off the street with the bum hanging out of his trousers and riding a push bike, and we've got him employed. So it was I'm really proud of the stuff we do like that. So one 80-year-old guy in the old fellow in the group now, and he always said, the best thing that ever happened to me is to meet up with the men's group. He said, I know that there's guys I can speak with there, and that I can sit down and have a good cup of coffee and a good cup of tea and good food. And so that's the reason I get on there, and I want to see things happening for my people. That's what I'm all about. So it gives me pleasure to see my people being successful, and that's what I live for. So
2005, the Day of Healing at Lake Illawarra Foreshore takes place, and NAIDOC Week and the Reconciliation Walk continue to grow. 2006, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander People's Employment Strategy is the main focus of the Aboriginal Advisory Committee. The Bass Point Heritage Walk commences and Veronica Bird is hired as the Aboriginal Community Liaison Officer.
We've got a lot that we can learn from our Aboriginal brothers and sisters, and I think that that's very important, that we continue to engage with them and make decisions that are in the best interest of our local community. Bass Point is a very important area for our local Aboriginal community. Many of our elders and their mothers and grandmothers and parents were born at Bass Point, and so I hope that we continue to work together cooperatively to ensure really good outcomes for our community, and in particular to protect our Aboriginal heritage.
2007. Shellharbour City Council was awarded Council of the Year at the New South Wales Local Government Aboriginal Network Conference held in Coffs Harbour. The 40th anniversary of the 1967 referendum, which gave Aboriginal people the right to vote, was celebrated through a dramatic reenactment. NAIDOC Week holds its first NAIDOC Awards. There is a launch of Aboriginal posters and the launch of Looking Back Moving Forward, stories from the Shellharbour Aboriginal community. We acknowledge Auntie Lorraine Brown and Auntie Narelle Thomas.
One of my fondest memories is the reconciliation walk we had during NAIDOC Week, which was the 40th anniversary of the 1967 referendum, where we actually had a reenactment. And to see lots of young children involved in that, lots of community members involved in that, not only Aboriginal people but non-Aboriginal people, and there's a fantastic turnout by councillors on that day. I've said this quite often to people, nowadays things have changed. The broader community generally does want to work with Aboriginal people. We're no longer fighting the fights that we had in the past, not in the open anyway. There are still people who are a little bit less enlightened than the rest of the community, but generally speaking, most businesses, most government organisations and most people in the community do acknowledge that Aboriginal people were here first and that they do want to work with Aboriginal people.
2008. In 2008, there is a Reconciliation Festival held at Albion Park Rail, and Indigenous short films are shown at Greater Union Cinema. The NAIDOC Awards also feature the NAIDOC Fashion Parade. The United Koori Elders Social Group is established.
I went to Veronica and I said to Veronica Bird, who is our liaison officer at Shellharbour Council, I said to her, what do you think if we start up a group for all our elders, I said, and we do it through Ageing and Disability, which is HAC's program at Albion Park? And she said, Auntie Bev, leave that with me. This is what you do. You go and talk to your mayor and start it up. And that's how we started. Yeah, it's good. It gets my elders out of their house, and they come out and they like to come out here and we all discuss stories and talk about when we were young and what was happening here when we were young here in the Illawarra. Yeah, we've had some funny days. Yeah, we're hoping that through our Aboriginal Advisory Council we can get employment for not only our youth what are ready to leave high school, but some of our ladies and men who are a bit older who are not employed. We show Shellharbour Council a lot of respect and they show us respect.
If you've got a bundle of pressure at home and you can come shake the dust off your feet before you walk in and leave it there and pick it up on your way out.
By coming here, I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I've learned a lot, and because of who I am as an elder, I've still got a long way to go and learn about culture issues as well. I'm learning just by sitting here watching them talk all the time and that, but being here, if I didn't come here, I don't know what would have happened to me.
I'll be 76 this month, and I want to keep on living by coming to the group. It's keeping me alive, and I really enjoy coming to the Koori Elders, and I hope it continuously keeps on going for me and our mob here, Yeah, so I won't end up getting dementia.
No, I'm always so proud to see an Aboriginal flag be flying around, you know.
That's
and my
right,
little grandchildren, I tell them
Yeah.
about that flag. So every time I see it, look around, if I can see an Aboriginal flag, my heart palpitates, you know. I get all excited.
Yeah.
2009. The reconciliation event for 2009 is the Reconciliation School Flag Walk, which continues until today. A message stick is included in the time capsule celebrating the 150th anniversary of Shellharbour City Council. 2010 saw the exchange of message sticks with Central Darling Shire and Reconciliation Cricket Match. 2011 NAIDOC Awards. Inaugural Regional Local Government NAIDOC Awards dinner hosted by Shellharbour City Council on behalf of neighbouring councils Wingecarribee, Wollongong, Kiama and Shoalhaven.
I think the success into the future for the AECC will come from the fact that they've been around for such a long time, that they've had great ideas, that they've seen them come to fruition, and I think they'll continue to do that in the future as well. The Aboriginal Culture and Heritage Toolkit gives guidance to planning decisions in local government, and it's actually a joint project across 3 councils, so it's going to be a consistent toolkit across Kiama, Wollongong and Shellharbour councils, and was initiated from Shellharbour Council. So it's been a long-running process, but a really successful one, and we actually just recently adopted it this year, so that was great.
2012 saw the launch of the Aboriginal Employment Strategy 2012 to 2015. And who can forget the screening of the Sapphires? 2013. We see the inaugural Reconciliation Aboriginal Art Exhibition and the Reconciliation Literary Project. The Aboriginal Cultural Heritage Management Development Assessment Toolkit was launched and won the Planning Institute of Australia Award for Planning. It was also highly commended in the Heritage Awards. Excellence, improving planning processes and practices. The Bass Point Reserve was approved for heritage listing, and draft concept design has begun for the Bass Point Aboriginal Interpretive Centre.
I actually contacted the New South Wales Local Government and Shires Association just to confirm whether that is the case, and yes, that was confirmed, that Shellharbour City Council's Aboriginal Advisory Committee is not only the longest standing, it is also the longest continuous Aboriginal Advisory Committee in relation to, you know, it's 15 years. So that is, I think says it all. I think not only in regards to the commitment from the local Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community, but also the commitment from Shellharbour City Council. My passion is because of who I am. I am who I am. I'm Aboriginal, and the fact that I think work for a fantastic local government, and the fact that I have such wonderful people who sit on Council's Aboriginal Advisory Committee, who provide that continued support and guidance for me to be able to achieve the wonderful things that this council achieves. Because it's certainly not, it's making me a little emotional, because it's certainly not something that you achieve on your own. Quite apart from the Advisory Committee, I'm surrounded by fantastic staff. The staff here are second to none.
Congratulations, Shellharbour City Council and the Aboriginal Advisory Committee on a successful 15 years.
I remember some of the struggles we had back when we were starting the group up. Some of the tiffs and tats and wasn't always easy going, but I think everyone will know now it was worth it. I hope you continue to work together, overcome whatever obstacles are placed in front of you, to make a real difference for the Aboriginal community of Shellharbour, because when you do that, you strengthen the entire community. So well done, guys. I'm really, really thrilled, and happy birthday.
All you people that used to fight and argue with one another before this committee was originated, you're all buddies and pals now, so I'm very, very grateful for it. So look after yourselves and thank you for being my friends.
Hey, mob, Uncle G. you know, I've been involved in the group, advisory committee. I'm a proud blackfella, I'm a Yuin warrior, and it's my pleasure to be involved in the advisory committee, and I know it's very, very successful, and we need to get it and keep it going, make it stronger, and hope it will be here for another